We have breaking news tonight, and it relates to new polls in today and tonight in critical battleground states that will determine the future of the Senate. We have seen 5 new polls out of Georgia, 2 from Ohio, 1 in Pennsylvania, a brand new one out of Nevada, and 2 from Arizona, all coming in today. One of the most hotly contested and highly anticipated governor's races in the country, a race that some had written off for Democrats. A new poll shows the race is still very close, with Democrat Katie Hobbs in the lead, up 1 point over rival Kari Lake in a new Marist poll. Of course, that's well within the poll's margin of error. On average, Lake is up just under 2 points in the Real Clear polling average, which really means the two are statistically tied at this point. Now, Arizona is a big deal here, with Democrats also fighting to keep a Senate seat as incumbent Democrat Mark Kelly tries to fend off Trump-endorsed GOP candidate Blake Masters. Now, before we dig into more of these new polls, I want to bring in Decision Desk HQ's Scott Tranter. Scott, thanks very much for coming on. Appreciate it. So there is a lot of new polling coming in tonight. The most we have seen coming in today from Georgia, and the Senate and gubernatorial races there. In both, the Republicans are up, but it's the Senate race that's the real nail-biter. What do you make of the 4 new polls that we've seen in Georgia? It seems, again, that a couple show a tie, but a couple show Walker up by 3 or maybe even more points.
Well, what those polls show us is that tomorrow is going to be very close, and tomorrow might be several days to figure out who wins, especially in places like Arizona and Nevada, which showed us in 2020 that they may take a couple of weeks before they get to the final result. Georgia is interesting simply because Herschel Walker had been taking the polling lead the last week or two, and Warnock in these most recent polls made it tighter. Georgia has had a significant amount of people already cast their vote, but they're looking for record turnout tomorrow when people can show up to the polls. That one could go either way, and the polls are showing that.
All right, let's go to Arizona. What do you make of the Marist poll putting Hobbs ahead? I think a lot of people have kind of written this one off at some point, right? That Kari Lake had all the momentum, that she was soaring over Katie Hobbs, and now you've got this Marist poll putting Hobbs ahead of Kari Lake.
Yeah, and the Marist poll is a perfect example of what I like to say is I like to look at averages. I like to look at trend lines. The Marist poll certainly has Katie Hobbs ahead, but as you show, the RCP average, which takes all the polls and averages them out, still has Kari Lake ahead. And so I think the wisdom of the averages, the wisdom of all the polls is really what we need to look at. And the Marist poll is interesting directionally, but still within the margin of error.
And in the Senate race there, 2 new polls, Democratic Senator Mark Kelly up in both. Again, a lot of the polls, I mean, Real Clear Politics, for example, is already projecting that Blake Masters is going to pull that one out. Do these 2 new polls change that?
So it's interesting. The polls certainly bear out, at least, make it look like Mark Kelly has a chance. He's an incumbent senator. He's run a great campaign. He's raised a lot of money. Blake Masters has shown a lot of heart this last couple weeks, and we've seen some polls that showed him closing the gap. The DDHQ average still gives a slight favorite to Mark Kelly, but that again is another close one, and we've seen polls in the last 24 hours make it look like Mark Kelly is surging near the end.
Let's talk about Nevada. I mean, I have to tell you, after talking about the early voting in Nevada, and I know that you're not a big fan of drawing too many conclusions from the early voting numbers, but the early voting numbers do not seem particularly positive for Democrats thus far in Nevada. Put on top of that, a new poll coming in today where you have the Republican, Adam Laxalt, leading Catherine Cortez Masto by a point, the aggregate lead of almost 3 points there. Is this one where maybe the Republican is in a bigger lead than some are suggesting?
It certainly looks like that on paper. The reason why I'm not a huge fan of early vote is because early vote is great today, but tomorrow all those Democrats who hadn't returned their ballots could show up to the polls. That's what was happening pre-COVID in Nevada. The Democrats would show up in droves during Election Day. It did not happen in 2020. I think a lot of people were looking for that trend to stay, and we'll see if it does tomorrow. If the Democrats have a good day, Election Day, then that is going to erase the deficit they have in the absentee early vote.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.